Arts. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode in the RavenzCraft Arts Interviews project. In this episode we get to have an interview with a very special musical artist from the Netherlands, Helisir. Helisir is an amazing musical artist with influences of Irish and Norse folk traditions. A lot of her music is inspired by Norwegian legends and mythology of our ancestors. She has a very beautiful and alluring type of voice that drifts you away into the stories that she tells in her music. Helisir has many other musical talents, including one of the best players of the harp I've ever heard. She is also involved with many other festivals and musical events around the world. She has done past projects with Katie Ran and the band Leaf. I was very excited and honored to have this interview talk with Jacqueline, and one thing I noticed when I talked with her is that she mentioned that she was inspired by another band called Olminia, and I realized that, this is what it's all about. It's about putting your work out there and not only making yourself feel good, but you inspire others to push further in their career and dreams as well. So this is something that I've been learning through my work as well. We can all really inspire each other to do some amazing things. Jacqueline is a very friendly and positive person and seems to have a great circle of friends and support. Helisir has really taken her musical career and pushed it to the next level, and she is starting to really express herself more personally through her music. I have to say she is one of my personal favorites in this type of music. She already has a lot of great content out there to listen to, but I have a feeling this new album is going to be one of her best. So, without further ado, here is the interview with the great Jacqueline Helisir. First off, I just want to thank and welcome you to the RavenzCraft Arts Interviews project. I know, like you said, you've been really busy, so I appreciate this.
It's an absolute pleasure to do this, so yeah.
All right, my first question I had for you is kind of what started you on your career with music? Was there any certain person who kind of inspired you?
Well, I've been in music since I was really small. I started in church choirs, so that's where I got my vocal basic stuff. But I think it was around 2009. Yeah, it was. I was very, very much inspired by Omnia, a Dutch pagan folk band, and I used to record a cappella versions of their songs.
And a friend of mine sent it to them, and Steve, the frontman, I approached him during one of the concerts, and he said, "You should do something with your music, and your voice is really great, so just do something with it." And that's where I actually started the first real pagan folk-ish band. And well, there it pretty much started.
Yeah, and I noticed you use the harp a lot. Was there a time that you first started playing the harp, or what kind of attracted you to that instrument?
That was actually Omnia as well, because Jenny, Steve's wife, she is playing the harp, so that was my first kind of meet up with the instrument. But it wasn't until 2 years ago that I got my first harp, so I haven't been playing that long. In May this year, I will be playing the harp for 2 years, so it's actually fairly recent.
All right, so I know you've got to work with some really great people. I just wanted to ask you, how it was to actually meet these people and get to work with them and, basically become a partner instead of a fan.
Well, especially in the Netherlands, the folk scene is quite small. So once you get to know one person who has a little bit of a name, you pretty much get to know the rest as well. But for instance, with the Scandinavian scene, which is a little bit harder to reach because they are a little bit more closed off, that was really through the fact that from the pagan folk scene in the Netherlands, you got eventually more to the Viking scene, the Viking markets, and that's a little bit of a culture that's only now getting a little bit more popular in the Netherlands. So before it could actually even go there, you had to go and meet the people who were already in it. And for instance, I have always had a huge attraction to Norway.
I went there several times, and throughout the years, you just get to know and know more people. But because the scene is fairly small, it's pretty easy to get in touch with pretty much anyone, which is nice, I think.
So I was going to ask you, for people who might not already know, do you have a main spiritual practice or following?
Ooh. I actually never really thought about it, what I specifically do, or if I have a specific path, because I'm pretty much interested in everything. But for my own music and what I relate to the most, I work specifically with the goddess Freya. So I would say that I'm mostly focused on the Norse gods and goddesses, their mythology, their knowledge, the runes, of course. But to say that I'm a very devoted spiritual person, not so much. I must admit that it's very, very convenient for my music because I can tap easily into it.
But I don't follow a specific structure or anything.
Yeah, that kind of leads into the next thing I was going to ask you. Do you think that having these beliefs and things can help you with your art and kind of inspire you to be more creative?
Yeah, because it gives me a focus point, and especially with Helisir, and Helisir has been connected to Freya from the very, very beginning. I have her and her energy, her symbolism, all mythology and knowledge that's available from her. It's a very deeply rooted basis for my project. And no matter which way I go with my music, whether I go into acoustic harp playing or if I go into more pop or whatever kinds of music, that is always my basis. So I always work from there, and it's having a really, really big influence on everything I do with my music.
Yeah, I agree. They're very powerful energies. I work with the Norse deities myself, and for the past couple years, and I've noticed a lot of amazing things start to change. You can really empower yourself and become more confident and just, do things that you never thought you could do.
Especially that it goes really, really deep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely.
I was going to ask you, do you have any favorite books or movies or someone that you're currently following that maybe you could turn us on to?
Wow. When it comes to books, I'm a really, really big fan of Feist, Raymond E. Feist. He is writing the books with, I think The Mage is one of his best known titles. It's a really thick book, but I love all of his series. I love all of his books. His entire universe which he created is extremely interesting. It's more of a fiction thing. And movies, ooh. I must say that my interest in movies goes more to Japan and animated studios and stuff like that.
Yeah, I noticed on your channel you have this Japanese animation video called Promise of the World.
Yeah, I have a really, really, really huge crush on specifically the animation studio that I did that song for, including several tattoos and everything, because I grew up with it. So anything from Studio Ghibli is absolutely, when it comes to movies, it's a big yes.
So I don't know if you had time to kind of check out what I had going on with this RavenzCraft Arts website. What I'm trying to do is, provide educational entertainment for new followers and people, because it seems today your stuff has to have an entertaining glow for anyone to even pay attention to it. And we need to teach the young crowd the old ways and things that are important. And I'm trying to collaborate with people and create some really interesting things. And I was just wondering if you were open to maybe a future project, maybe providing some side work or a little music for a project.
Yeah, that's no problem. I'd really like to do that, especially when it comes to informing people or people who are visiting just out of curiosity. It's important to, especially in these days where so much information is available and not all of it might contribute to a better understanding. It's important to have these kind of projects to, when people do arrive at those places or do visit pages, you have to have information that's readily available, which they like and which should be really, really good. So yes, absolutely.
Cool, that's awesome. At what point did you really start to take your music and say, hey, I want to push it to the professional level? And, what point did you kind of say, I want to really get out there?
Actually, that was August 2016. Because I've been working on Helisir since 2012, and it started off as a little story, then it got more into music. I joined Leave in 2015. Yeah, 2015. And it was at Midgårdsblot in Norway where we performed that I decided, okay, I want to take my music to the next level. I released Sårbare, and after that I felt, okay, if I want to do more, if I want to, show the world what I am able to bring, I need to get to the bottom of it and I need to take the next step. And that's where I decided to work together with Christopher Yu from Heilung Museum in Denmark. And with the new album, that's where I actually am making a statement of this is who I am and this is what I'm going to bring. This is where I'm actually really serious about it. So that was actually quite recently that I thought, okay, maybe I should do this.
Yeah, and I encourage you to keep doing it because your material is good. You're not wasting your time. Your stuff is good. So
yeah, I'm really, really happy. And it's going to sound a little bit different compared to what people are used to because it has a wider approach because I want to sell to more people. So it has a little bit more pop influences. It has a little bit more urban, more experimental. So it's not just harp and voice anymore. It's bigger than that. But for instance, everything I do with the harp and voice alone is so perfectly suited for markets and everything. I can do the best of both worlds.
That's actually a very conscious choice that I make. I want to do everything and I want to do both, and I want to do both very good. So yeah, it's all coming together now, which is really nice.
Christopher Yu is doing a solo project. I don't know if that was a joke or what, but I seen that post and you're like,
it was a joke.
Okay. I was just gonna ask.
It was absolutely perfect because he had this old Greek bouzouki, which has an amazing sound, but it was used for one of my own songs. And he just sat there and he had such a great time doing it and just fooling around and trying to come up with new stuff. And I was the one in charge to record every little bit he decided to record for it. So we just decided to switch roles and pretend he was making a solo album.
I see. All right, so I was gonna ask you, do you have any goals or big accomplishments that you want to get done with your career? Anything that you want to really reach?
I want to eventually be able to live off my music. Of course, that's the nicest goal.
Yeah.
But things I would really like to reach is being signed up with a label in Scandinavia because I want to move to Denmark this year. And that means that I will focus with my music and my target on Scandinavian markets and people. So yeah, if I could get signed under a label that's going to help me with that, that would be great. But most importantly is that I just want to get my music out there and have people enjoy it. That's really my biggest goal.
Yeah, and I just want to say, we can help you in any way. I'll share your work. I'll post it. We're here to help you too. So anything you need from us, just let us know. Yeah.
It's really nice because that's the power of social media today is that it can break people, but it's so good in uniting everyone and getting things out there and getting things known. So yeah, I'm really happy to live in a day and age where it's so nice to personally approach people because that's the way it is now.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're getting better at it, so I'm learning things every day, so I'd be happy to help you share your work and, get more people aware of it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of ask you a little bit more about your new album. It's called Spin.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a favorite song off of the album that you had, and can you kind of tell us a little bit behind the album?
There's actually two, and I can't really choose which one I like which I like the most. Of course, I like all the songs, but there's one called "The Tide," which I actually wrote last week, and the same goes for another song called "Done." And these are both songs that I had not released in any way yet. No teasers, not anything, because, well, they weren't written, they weren't recorded at all, but they were this week. And the tide is where I cannot really choose between giving everything to someone or something or somewhere, just a goal you have and just going for it, or just stay safe and not do anything yet. It's the constant struggle of should I or should I not. And then there's Done, which is this really powerful female power, security, sureness. That's like, okay, I'm now going to make the choice. This is going to be it, and it's going to be frigging fantastic. And when Christopher mixed most of the song, because it's not entirely finished yet, but and I heard it after recording it for the times and with the music and everything, and I finally heard it as it should kind of be finished now, and I screamed for the first time in my life at one of my own songs because it was so awesome. And I just can't wait until people are going to hear it because it's so cool. So I think Done is my most favorite song.
Yeah, I can totally relate to how you feel now. Like with this website and these things that I'm building, it's just amazing when you reach people and you get reactions. It's like, wow, I am really building something, and it's really great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I noticed you also donate crowdfunding to like the Viking Museum and things like that. I just wanted to know a little bit more about that. I thought that was pretty cool.
It was absolutely lovely to do. It was a little bit stressful because I had never done a crowdfunding campaign before. But because of the Lofoten Viking Museum, who was part of it, and the fact that I got to play there in August, in return for the fact that I, could record an album and all that. That was amazing because I got to know a whole lot more people because of that. The crowdfunding, not necessarily, of course, it made it possible for me to record an album, but what it did even more is that I got to meet so many new people, lots of new musicians, people who give lectures, professors, but also people who I'd never met before who would come to the Lofoten to hear me play. That was incredible. So I learned a lot from the crowdfunding back then. It was stressful because I did it on my own, but it was incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, it is a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of hours just to get a little bit of work done sometimes. So
yes, yes, it is. It is, and even then, because Soulbora was the final product of the campaign. Even then, you always have people who are not completely satisfied. You can't live up to their expectations. But this is what I do. This is what I believe in. And as long as people apparently still appreciate that, I guess it's fine. But the main reason why I do this is because I feel I need to do this, not to please people. That's a nice plus. And that's what I learned from the crowdfunding, that no matter how hard you try, as long as you believe in what you do, you can get somewhere. You can get, maybe not where you initially planned to go, but it will get you at least a whole lot closer.
Yeah. So I didn't want to take up too much of your time today. This last question I was going to ask you is kind of an open question. Was there anything that you wanted to say to the people, or any inspirational words to upcoming artists?
Never stop doubting yourself. I've been in bands, I went out of bands. I've been in projects, I went out of projects. As long as you feel that what you do is right, and you deep down, you know you know whether you do whether deep down you know that what you do is the right thing to do, and keep doing that no matter how many people are saying you should do it differently, you should do it this way, my way, that way, you should wait. You follow your heart, because it definitely knows where you need to be. And it can be hard, it can be frustrating. I'm not saying that it has all been moonshine, moonlight, rosebuds for me, but I never stopped listening to where do I want to go. So always listen to yourself.
Yeah, well said. I agree. So I just want to tell you, what you're doing is great. You inspire a lot of people, and I encourage you to keep doing it.
Definitely.
Your efforts are not wasted. It's great material, and I just wanted to, thank you again for giving us this talk. And I can send you the video before, so you can review it and check it out before we release it. So
yeah, that's perfect. And thank you for your time. And I'm really, really glad that you asked me. I don't do interviews that often, so I really think this is really cool. And I wish you all the luck. And of course, if there's anything you want me to share or anything, I'll do it. That's no problem. It's really cool to help each other out this way.
Yeah, I think you've seen a post earlier, but I'll kind of put a post on our page. Maybe if you can like it or check it out or leave a comment, that helps. So
of course, I will do that.
All right, so yeah, I look forward to seeing your new album. When is that coming out again?
It's coming out the 25th of June in 2017, of course. So this summer.
Okay. All right, well, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for doing this, and we look forward to seeing more from you.
Yes, thank you, and have a nice day as well.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Just wanted to say thanks again to Jacqueline Helisir for getting involved in this interview project. What you do with your music is a very great thing, and we are all looking forward to your new album. I will post a couple links and websites where you can go check Helisir out. Support, subscribe, share, and like I always say, stay on the positive path.